Have we been live this whole time?
No, just now. About 2 seconds. I don't think anyone has jumped in the stream as of yet.
All right, let me see how this thing looks.
How does it look, my friend?
I
could do the same thing.
I think I look. Nah, I'm all grainy, dude.
I don't know what it is.
I don't want to learn more about private chat. Get the hell out of here. Okay.
Yeah, you are a little on the grainy side.
All right, I'm going to try something here.
All right.
See. I'm going to try to change my setting now to my HD thing here. Think it'll pop and help midway.
What's up, everyone? Let me know how Will looks. He seems to be all blurry at the moment.
I think you're right, dude. It gets even. Does it get better or even worse when I did what I just did? I don't know.
I think you are getting worse.
It's crazy. I'm just gonna have to go. Damn, it's such a. I'm just gonna have to go on my cell phone, dude.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna hop off and hop back on.
All right. Oh. All right. What's up, everyone? How's everyone doing? You are listening to the Bleedbigblue podcast. My name is Marco. Opening up today, we should have some funness in store for you, but a little technical issues. I don't know. Will must be on dial-up or something. Some garbage. Who knows? But he's going to call back in with his phone. Maybe the camera looks a little bit better. Maybe it looks a little bit clearer. What's up, Jesus Roman? Should we go all in on Deshaun? All right, the comments are coming in. I also pinned all the comments on the sidebar. Actually, right there. And let's see, Mr. Hardaway. I would take 3 first-round picks in the millisecond for Deshaun. There we go. Bring back Eli, baby. Hey, man. What's up, Jay Pizzle? How are you, my friend? What's up to Clarence? What's up to Mr. The Hardaway? What's up to Jesus? What's up to everyone jumping in the chat? Let me know where you're from. Let me know what you're doing tonight while we get everything up and rolling. I see a bunch of people already talking about Deshaun Watson. Clarence, just to clarify, I think Eli Manning is supposedly coming back in some sort of capacity as a mentor or something. That role is to be determined, so you might get your wish. How about that? Eduardo, what's up, my friend? How you feeling? Your comment is, be real. We have no ammunition for Deshaun. Well, you're going to have to mortgage the rest of your drafts for probably the next few years, and you're probably going to have to give up Daniel Jones, some things like that. But do top 5 quarterbacks, do they grow on trees? Are they easy to get? No, they are not. Let's see. We got a thumbnail. Samuel on Facebook, huge Giants fan from New York, now living in Las Vegas. What's up, Samuel? How you been? Boom. Much better.
Yeah. I look all right, sound good. You guys can hear me and everything?
Yeah. Yep.
All right, good. The only problem is, see, this way you can't really see my bobblehead right there. But it's all good. I'll just do this then. All right, what are we talking about here?
I'm just saying what's up to everyone who's joined us today. We got Keith over here saying trading Saquon and Danny for pennies for Deshaun. It's probably
no. That was Danny Pennies. That was a rip on Danny Dimes. It was what that was.
Got me all jumbled up over here.
Nah, it's all good, man. All right, so again, Giants are not trading for Deshaun Watson, people. I love you, but let's move on to the next topic.
I'd like to spend all the time talking about that topic. It happens to be my favorite.
Dude, I saw something hilarious. Somebody put Evan Ingram's highlights from his all-pro season, and it was just every one of his drops, fumbles, and everything that led to everything that went wrong for us this year. And it was just hysterical. And they put it to the Sounds of Silence for some reason. The song, the Simon and Garfunkel song. And it was just hilarious and infuriating at the same time.
Pro Bowl.
I mean, honestly, after watching that, and I'm not trying to overdo it here, I really think if you just eliminated him from the team this year, they would have definitely won 2 more games and maybe 3. I know we made maybe 5 good plays throughout the year, but like, if anybody can go on Twitter, I don't know where you can find it. Maybe go through my likes or something like that at Will Presty, and you'll see it. Or I might have responded to it because I don't know who posted it. But it is just so unbelievable when you look back, and it's funny with the song, and they show him being like, "Follow me, I'm going to lead you to the promised land," and then like show him like dropping a ball. But some of the turnovers that he had, literally like catching it and like, oh my God, we caught that one. And then like just before he gets to the ground, he like throws it in the air, and like one of the other guys gets it and runs it back. Like it looked like he was Sonny Listoning it, like he was like paid off by the other team. If anyone knows what the hell old reference I'm making here to the accusations that Sonny Liston took a dive in that famous fight where Ali stands over him like this. But dude, Ingram, it was unbelievable. Balls going through his hands, hitting off his face mask, and getting intercepted. And the Eagles game was a straight up win. It was 3rd down. Was it in Philly? 3rd down, and they had the balls to throw that pass. And it was right on the money. Sure, he had to extend his arms, big deal. But if he literally just catches that pass, the Giants, it's literally a win because the next play was going to be a knee, was going to be taking knees, if I understand the clock correctly. So that's literally 1 extra win, which is literally playoffs, which is literally beating Tom Brady in the NFC Championship game.
Which is literally 7-9. Well, the mic part, your 5 o'clock is grinding on it. Just scratch. Boom! Yeah. Freedom, my friend. Freedom. Samuel, that Eagles games, I still have nightmares about that game. I do too, my friend. Actually, the most ever nightmares from any single game is the Deshaun Jackson. Deshaun Jackson. I got Watson on my mind.
Right. There's Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Jackson, Deshaun Watson, Lamar. Wait a minute. All right. Mr. The Hardaway. Do we know this person? Is that a friend of ours? Do you know who that is? You're a friend of ours if you hear it, but I got to say, win and loss columns are not decided by tight ends. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. I'm not saying that if you have a great tight end, you're going to be great. If you have a bad tight end, you're going to be bad. But if within a game, a tight end drops a pass that would literally have won a game, then that win was decided by the tight end. Then in any game,
right.
So wins, loss are not decided by tight end. So if in that theory, Mr. The Hardaway, if you throw 3 passes to your tight end in the end zone, and one game, in one scenario, he catches all 3 touchdowns. In the other scenario, he drops all 3 passes. That's not going to win or lose a game. I mean, come on. He's not the problem with the team. He's not the reason they're not good. But he is an obvious detriment to the team. I'm not saying without him they're Super Bowl. I was kidding when I said playoffs and then beating Tom Brady. If you watch the show, that I'm pretty hard on the Giants. But in my opinion, it's very hard to say in any given year that literally a player did more harm than good. And I think that that's the case with Evan Ingram this year, which is hilarious when you juxtapose it with the fact that he made the Pro Bowl or whatever it's not actually a Pro Bowl.
He's our Pro Bowler that we are hopefully got a 3rd round pick for.
I'd love it. The problem is the last QB we had that beat a winning team is Colt McCoy and Eli Manning. I'm not saying that Daniel Jones is playing great, and if it wasn't for Ingram, we'd be a great team. There's issues with Daniel Jones, absolutely, but you can't take away the fact that you just can't negate the fact that that Evan Ingram cost them a couple games this year, and Jones might as well. I mean, we'll see. It's tough. We've said it. He's done just enough to keep around, and he's done just enough bad where you think maybe he's not the guy. That's why you need to give him the weapons this year. You need to shore up the offensive line. You need to give him some weapons so you can actually see, okay, with some talent, can this guy do well? Or is it still going to be a thing that no matter who he has around him, he's going to hold the ball a little too long, stare at his first receiver a little too long, have no pocket presence, and fumble and stuff like that? And then we'll see.
Ooh, that's a good comeback. I know you're impartial, but would you say the reason why the Giants won their second Super Bowl because Wes Welker dropped that pass? It's 60 minutes.
First of all, that was a bad throw by Brady, and Wes Welker gets way too much shit for that. He had to jump, dive. I was a former tight end. I know what it's like to catch passes. He had to jump, dive behind him, and it went off the edges of his hands. It slipped out of his. So that was not like 100%. Like, he gets way too much crap for quote unquote dropping that pass. He was wide open, and Brady threw a bad pass. But what I would say is, if Wes Welker dropped 5 passes in 5 different games in key situations and fumbled 3 different times in key situations that year, and yes, it's 60 minutes, but there's no bigger momentum swing than a turnover. And when the same guy over and in every game, put it this, I'm trying to find my point here. In every game, there's going to be a couple of plays that you can look at and say, we lost because of this, that changed the momentum, this, and that. I've been watching the Giants for my entire life since birth. I have never seen a season in which one player had so many negative plays at major moments of games that cost the Giants momentum, points, field position, possessions than I did Evan Ingram this year. I don't do this every year. I don't say when a guy drops a pass, oh, he cost us the season. But Ingram this year, in like 7 different games, he had huge, terrible plays. Balls through his hands, off his face mask, fumbling out of, when hardly anyone's near him. Drops. So yeah, there's never been. I've never seen a guy single-handedly crush momentum like I did with Evan Ingram this year. I wouldn't do it if it was just one game, but it was just it was a repeatable thing. It was a repeated thing rather, and he's been like that for a while, man.
So, I throw the questions up on Instagram and I see what people are thinking about. And a bunch of the comments were related. A bunch of the questions were related to Evan Ingram. What are the Giants' plans? Where are they going from here? And one of them pointed out, do you think prior to the season beginning, we're like, we need Evan Ingram healthy. It's going to be a good season for him. It's going to be a breakout season for him. He's going to be, Pro Bowler. Do you think him trying to stay healthy actually hindered him in the long run? Because this year he actually played, I think, a majority of the games. Maybe he missed one, if that.
Right. So
being cautious was not him putting the extra effort out to catch passes because maybe it might have put him in an awkward situation.
Not at all. When the ball's coming towards you, you're thinking catch the ball. The only time, in my opinion, that your health ever plays into it where you could consciously say something to yourself within the game is if you have the ball in your hands and you're fighting for those extra yards and there are 3 or 4 guys trying to tackle you and they haven't quite yet blown the whistle and you decide I'm just going to stop running and let my momentum stop, or I'm going to just go down, as opposed to I'm going to take that extra 1 or 2 steps. Or I'm going to run out of bounds instead of letting this guy crush me for me to get an extra yard or 2. Those are the only times you consciously make those decisions. when your hands are like this and the ball slips through your hands and hits you in the face, that's not you saying, well, if I do this, I might get hurt. So, no, in my opinion, that's completely a non-factor.
But
No.
what about this? What about when you're reaching out and you could probably just go a little, but it's going to bring you up in the air if you just go a little bit more.
So you're saying people are saying that he was short arming it because he was afraid to get laid out if he did catch the passes?
Sometimes. That's what they were insinuating.
Right. Okay, so maybe that's a little clearer as to what they were saying than what I was originally talking about. But I'd have to look back. So sad. I'm thinking about all the plays. I'd have to look back.
A lot of film to look back on.
I'd have to look back, but no. Ultimately, no. Like, I still believe when you're out there, it's a reactionary thing. Ball's coming, you try to catch the ball. I didn't see that enough of. I couldn't say. I couldn't agree with that. Is it possible? Maybe, but I think that's almost like an excuse for him or a cop out, if you will. Not that he said it, but. What else are people saying on those questions?
Oh, I got a ton. A lot of Deshaun Watson talk, which you don't like to talk about.
We could talk about it. We could definitely talk about it. And I think the Jets podcast should talk about it more than we should talk about it. But
from AG Sports Talk, do you realistically see us signing anybody in free agent? If yes, who?
I mean, wide receiver, edge, corner, linebacker. I don't know. I'm not sure if they're going to make a big splash. We have to see what the money situation's like. But
and that's a big controversy at the moment too. Apparently, a bunch of guys got some bonuses for performance and play overall, which few of them, which
I think Evan Engram. They said if his actions led to 100 points over the course of the year, he got a bonus. But they didn't think they had to, but they forgot to specify 100 points for which team.
Oh,
so he ended up getting the bonus because he cost the Giants. He gave the other teams 100.
14 points here.
Do you know how many defensive players got bonuses this year because of Evan Engram?
No, I don't.
Think about that. The guys who got that extra interception, who got that forced fumble, who caused that drop. All right, the guy, he's paying people's kids through college this year.
He's padding the wrong stats.
Oh my God, dude. No quarterback has more turnovers at this point in their career, more so than Jones, other than Ryan Leaf, I think is what you're saying. Yeah, turnovers are an issue. I didn't know that stat in particular. I think his turnovers were down, his turnovers per game this year. But no, it is an issue. But again, what I have to say about Jones, and I'm sorry to keep saying it, I'm not trying to kid glove this guy. Mm-hmm. But again, statistically, he's got the 31st ranked offensive line and bottom 5 in receiver separation. So he has essentially no time and no one to throw to. And in those scenarios, now he doesn't have to throw a pick. He could throw it away. He doesn't have to fumble. He could hold the ball. So there's definitely blame to be put on him. Remember, was it the Texans? David Carr or his brother? Who was the original Carr? That was the Texans' first ever quarterback, right?
David, yeah.
He was sacked a record number of times his first 2 seasons. It was an expansion team. The offensive line sucked. He was sacked I don't know what even the numbers are, but it was 100 times in the first 2 years or whatever. But I don't know if you set the fumble mark or anything like that. You don't have to turn the ball over if you get hit.
I have a good question for you.
Yeah, I got it.
Which Daniel Jones do you like, or would you prefer? The Daniel Jones that guns it and gets the turnovers, or the more cautious Daniel Jones who can't score points because he's playing it too safe and is less turnover prone?
Well, obviously neither, but I think the question is, how do you breed a good quarterback? Do you let him take his chances and just learn better which chances to take, or do you just have him be totally cautious and totally I didn't throw a pick, or do you just let him be a gunslinger and you're going to get some good and some bad, and hopefully he can hone in the gunslinging skills a little bit and become a Favre or Eli or Peyton gunslinger, as opposed to someone who's just gunslinging it and throwing picks all the time. So which do I prefer?
I know one's more exciting than the other.
One's more exciting than the other. Yeah, you had more highs as a rookie and more lows as a rookie, probably. If you have the receivers, that's a large part of it, who your receivers are.
This is true. But
what these guys can do.
The receivers really didn't change that much.
No, but I'm saying moving forward, if you said next year, if I want to see a gunslinger and I want to see a possession guy, well, if all of a sudden we have, Galladay and Pitts and guys that can go up and make catches and shit, then yeah, gunsling it. But I don't know. It's kind of a crappy question. It's a good question, but it just puts me in a bad mood either way because I don't want either one of them. Pitts would be an upgrade, but at 11, question mark. Well, Samuel, your question of at 11 implies that you don't know if he's worth the 11th pick, and I would tell you that most people believe he's about a top 5 talent in the draft, and that he is worthy of the 11 pick. So it's not a question of whether or not you take a tight end that early, because supposedly he's sort of going to be that mismatch guy, going to be that Travis Kelce or whatever it is, once every 5-year, once every 10-year tight end. People love this guy. The question with me, though, Marco, is can any of these new age tight ends actually block? Because otherwise, like, what's the big deal that they're a tight end? It's just like a wide receiver. And we've seen now, I mean, Ingram, I've always joked he's a triple threat. He can't block, he can't catch, he can't stay healthy. But I guess the thing with Pitts, it creates a mismatch. If you could just block a little bit, and I'm assuming he can block a little bit, people just love this guy. I mean, he's far and away the best tight end this year. So yeah, if the Giants took a wide receiver in the offseason and took Pitts at 11, I'd be happy that they addressed the offense. I'd still want an offensive lineman because Daniel Jones will now have no time to throw to good receivers instead of no time to throw to average receivers.
Right. I did a YouTuber like mock draft, and all the names that I was thinking, they were all gone, and I sent you the list, and it came people like, all right, do I pull the trigger on Waddle?
Yeah.
So then I looked it up, and I was looking at him, and he's just not the type of receiver that I think that the Giants, it's not fit for the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, man, this guy is good though. Cuts are good hands, return. I was like, all right, fine. So in the mock draft, I selected Waddle.
Yeah, and I think
I've been watching a bunch of him too, and he's a playmaker. He is a playmaker.
He's really good. Every analyst, real stat analyst, will tell you. I actually just saw one the other day that said production-wise, I mean, the receivers coming out of Alabama the past few years have been some of the most highly recruited receivers to come out of the same college team over the course of a 2-year period, maybe ever. Between Judy and Ruggs and Devontae Smith and Jalen Waddle is actually the most statistically PFF, this and that. He's actually the highest graded of all those guys, which is pretty incredible. First 4 games this year when he was healthy, him and Devontae Smith, all of his stats are better than Devontae Smith's. I know he's about 5'11" or 5'10".
5'10", yeah.
He looks bigger than that. He's made enough contested catches where it's not like he's not, able to do that. But I know tall receivers is kind of what people are all about these days, and I get that. And D-backs are getting a little taller now, but I mean, it's tough to say, man. It's tough because at 11, what I would do there if I had Waddle or if I, depending on what you do in free agency, I would be cool with taking a lineman at 11, with taking Slater or taking Darisaw. Sewell would be gone. Taking one of those guys at 11 because I think you could still get a really good receiver in the second round. But I think those 3 linemen are kind of far and away better than the other ones. So You know how I feel about some of those other guys, whether it's Kadarius Toney or my boy Nico Collins. Although I was a little disappointed with his Senior Bowl weigh-in. His arms are a little shorter than I thought they'd be, and his hands are a little smaller than I thought they'd be.
Yeah, I can't get down with the Senior Bowl and Columbine.
Dude.
Columbine.
Jeez.
What's in my head? What is in my head?
Dude, the Senior Bowl, you guys should check out the Senior Bowl. Everybody's playing in it, man. Everyone's doing it. Devontae is going to be there, and my boy Nico Collins is there. And there's I put together a list. I think you retweeted it, actually, of a solid list of 20 different players I think the Giants, could potentially, and Giants fans should take a look at, about 8 or 9 offensive linemen, 3 receivers that the Giants could take in the first or second round, and a lot of really good edge defenders, man. That's the one thing about this edge defender draft. Everybody's so old, dude. There's 12 top edge defenders as far as I'm concerned, and 8 of them are super seniors. They're 22, 23 years old. Kwity Paye going to be 24 by the end of the year. It's nuts, and that's what makes me happy about my list. My 3 top edge defenders in this draft, just statistically, just without looking at age at all, happen to be the 3 youngest of all the guys as well, which makes them even higher on my list because they're getting there earlier. And that's Joseph Asai, Azeez Ojulari, and Gregory Rousseau, probably in that order. But anyway, I know I'm going all over the place here. I like Bateman out of Minnesota. Bateman will probably not be there in the second round. Lineman. It's just where this roster. What did I misread that? What's he saying?
No.
It's just where this roster
is. I think
okay.
It is though.
Yeah, I mean, when you have the 31st ranked offense and you have the 31st ranked offensive line, it's not a quinkydink. It's not a coincidence. If I've said this to you before, Marco. I say it every time. People here probably say it with me. 9th ranked defense, 31st ranked offense, and we get back our 2 best pass rushers in Zimenez and Carter, who are good, not great, good, and we get Xavier McKinney for a whole year. And if we don't cut him, we get Fackrell back. So you'll be looking at a top 8 defense without adding anything. So to me, even if you just add one player,
you have to re-sign Williams.
Right, they'll re-sign one of them, so you'll probably lose one on the defensive line. That's fair. But even if you just add one defensive player, and even if the defense is about the same, you can win a Super Bowl with a top 10 defense. If you look right now, I believe the final 4 teams in the NFL playoffs this year were all in the top 5 in scoring offense. So that's what matters. And the Giants are 31st. So I don't care if the Giants draft and bring in every single person this year as an offense. I don't care. That's what they need. You absolutely need at least one receiver. Hopefully drop Ingram. I thought that would be impossible, but I'm hearing maybe some rumblings. I don't know. And you got to bring in an offensive lineman. If it's going to be in the draft, it's got to be in the first 2 rounds. Probably the first rounder is not going to make a difference year 1. Or bring somebody in a free agency.
Would it be out of the question for the Giants to sign Galladay?
Okay.
Draft Waddle.
Yes.
Cut.
Yeah, they wouldn't do that.
Shepard and Tate.
Well, they're going to cut Tate. But no, I think if they were going to cut Ingram, they would take Pitts.
Yeah, you think?
If he's there. I don't think they do Galladay and Waddle. I don't think the Giants, in my mind, everybody seems to be warped and everyone's just talking about edge, corner, linebacker, and then it's just one receiver. So I don't think the Giants, I would be thrilled if they put that much effort into the offense. But I have this feeling, even mock drafts and people that are professional scouts and just cover the Giants, every day I see articles which DB should we take in the first round, or the edge defender that's going to bring our season together. And I'm like, are you, Marco? I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. I don't understand. The defense is good. It's good. Our offense is second to the Jets, which had an all-time terrible season.
Yeah.
Second to that, you think Saquon and one receiver is going to revitalize this offense? You're nuts. You gotta bring in at least one target and at least one offensive lineman, and then maybe you could have the number 20 offense in football. And then maybe you could make the playoffs and potentially win a playoff game and actually feel like there's some momentum. So to answer your question, do I think they would do Golladay and Waddle? I don't. I have a bad feeling the Giants will not invest that much into the offense that early. The question is, Marco.
I think my wild prediction, like your bold prediction, would be our starting 3 wide receivers would probably Waddle, Golladay, and Slayton.
I love Shep.
I love him too, but
who's cheaper? Robinson will be the highest paid of them, probably. He's young, he's tall. I think Galladay would be cheaper. Plus, Galladay's coming off a season-ending injury, which that's why I'm kind of like, got a hip injury. I mean, come on. But thank you, sir. 31st ranked offensive line with the 31st ranked overall offense. Just keep saying it till it sinks in. True, honestly. It's true.
Mr. The Hard Way.
I was calling him Mr. Hardaway, I think.
Mr. The Hardaway. Get it right.
What other questions do we have? I would check my cell phone,
but
I'd be texting people the link. I'd be doing all sorts of stuff on my cell phone right now. But for some reason, the camera wasn't working.
Let's see what we got. Way too early projection for the record next season. Yes, it is way too early.
Not way too early. Can't.
We don't even know who's on the team. I love that question.
Well, my prediction for next year then would be 6-10, because it's the same team. As far as we know, it's the same team as now. By the way, I just have to say something. Did I already say this to you? That I think the Washington defensive front is overrated at this point. Did I already give you this hot take?
No. What is it?
Dude, all you hear about is the Washington football team's front four, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every week they talk about the front four of Washington. And they were all first-round draft picks. And Chase Young and this and that. And quarterbacks, just they have nightmares when they see that it's coming up 10 weeks down the line in the season. I can't believe what they're doing. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Statistically, it was 5th or 6th and 13th of one of these two categories. I forget which one. I think it was 6th in rush defense and 13th in sacks. So I don't care if they were all drafted number 1 overall. I don't care if they were genetically bred in a lab and you drafted them. The bottom line is the Washington football team front four, they're 6th against the run. And they're 13th in sacks. So as of this point, Marco, they're like around the 9th or 10th best defensive front in football. So we got to stop talking about them. I don't know why everyone's talking about them like they're so unbelievable. Chase Young, who had a commendable year, and nobody was higher on Chase Young than me when he was coming out of the draft, he had 7.5 sacks. There have been 35 rookie edges who have had 10 or more sacks as a rookie. He had 7.5, so he was okay. He was pretty good, but I just want to get that off my chest. All this talk about the Washington football team's front four, it's just not statistically. It's not sound. It's not accurate. So anyway, enough about that.
Well, you got to talk about them a little. They made the playoffs, right? They went out there.
They went out there against what was that quarterback's name? Rufus Drysdale. Who was that guy?
I don't even. From JCM Masco, if Zeitler goes, do we move Hernandez to his spot or do we get a brand new guy? What do you think about that?
No.
Is that the official Will Presti bobblehead?
Yeah, you could pick these up at your local.
No, look, I didn't know it was there.
Yeah. No, they wouldn't move Hernandez over. If they got rid of Zeitler, in my opinion, they'd bring in another guy. And that would just be not the way to go because Zeitler is your best lineman. And if you want to be good this year, you have to keep Zeitler, even if it's a transition year. I'm looking into the wrong camera. I'm looking into the camera up here thinking that's what I'm talking to. I forget it's right here. No, because this is a big year for Daniel Jones, and I think you have to keep Zeitler. He is the only Giants offensive lineman who is above average. And, of course, he's getting a little bit worse each year as age comes, but he's still their best lineman. And if you want Daniel Jones to have a productive year, if you want to see what this offense can be, if you want to grade Jason Garrett, if you want these things to move forward, you keep Zeitler and you bring in another offensive lineman. Preferably for me, it's a left guard. Shane Lemieux, I know PFF's not everything, but they have him ranked as the worst guard in all of football. You can't have that. You let Thomas try to hopefully grow. You keep Zeitler. People love Gates. He got better, fine. I'm willing to give in on Gates. But hopefully Pert comes along or something, but you got to bring in at least one new guy.
I got it. Here's another one. Ready?
Yeah, what do you got?
Actually, let's throw the number up. I'm going to let it go to voicemail. So if you guys want to chime in, because it seems to be a little crazy. The number to call in and send a voicemail to us, and we'll play it live on air right now, is 347-946-2826. All right, I'll leave that up for a minute.
Now, that is your cell phone number, yeah?
That is my cell phone number. I will text
Wow, look at that. You're giving – this is crazy. All these fans.
You could text that line, and I will text them back. That's 347-946-2826. All right.
What do we got here? I like the DNs, not sold on the DTs. In the draft or on the Giants as of right now? It can't be the draft. Oh, maybe he means on the Redskins. Maybe Sammy's a Redskins. The football team, because obviously he'd be cool with the Giants DTs. Let's see.
Ready for a comment from Offhanded Bandit 15?
Offhanded Bandit 15. I like the first 14, so let's see what this one is.
So what do you think our record would have been if Saquon Barkley never got hurt? So in essence, he's saying, if we had Saquon, are we a better team?
I can tell you what it wouldn't have been better than, in my opinion. And I hate to say it, because I love Saquon and I'm excited about him every time he gets the ball and I'm rooting for him. And I've gone to battle on Twitter for this guy, just about how great he is, better than Zeke and all this stuff. But 7-9, I just don't know. Yeah, I've said it before. I love Saquon, and I know, again, I say this every time. I think Gallman and a lot of other running backs, even some of the guys we brought in. Who did bring in? What's his name from the? Who's the guy we brought in that got hurt? He was from the Falcons for a while. Not Turner.
No.
Was it Turner?
No.
Who did we bring in earlier in the year? Someone write that name.
Devontae Freeman.
Freeman. Okay.
Is that correct?
Yeah, sure. Devontae Freeman. Was that not a? Now that just sounds like Antonio Freeman and Devontae. Okay.
Oh, Freeman. I got it. You guys in the chat, you are way late. I nailed it so quickly. Devontae Freeman. Good.
So listen, here's in my opinion. They're on top of it. In my opinion, once he breaks through the first level, Saquon Barkley is arguably the best running back in the NFL. He has the potential. He showed that rookie year when he led the league in total yards as a rookie. But I do believe that there are a lot of running backs, even your average NFL running back, that can potentially break through the line when there's not a big hole there that better than Saquon can. I think he hesitates a little bit. He backs and forths a little bit. He's kind of got those big legs. He's a little plodding. He's very fast. He's a 4.4 flat guy, but it takes him a second to get to that speed, in my opinion, even though he's very quick as well. But just my eyeball test, Marco, just tells me that he's not he's fine, but he's not exceptional with creating a hole when there is not a lot there. So I see Gallman taking a sliver and going through it and falling forward for 2.5 yards, whereas I see Saquon seeing that same sliver and kind of hesitating and trying to find something else and not really getting anywhere. But once at that second level, I think Saquon can do things no one else can. So I'm not sure how his presence affects wins and losses. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. But I'll tell you this, though, Marco. Like, for instance, remember like the Seattle game where the Giants' offensive line was opening up holes?
Yeah.
I watched that game and I said, man, I would have loved to have
You
seen what
thought-
Saquon could have done. Saquon could have rushed for 200 yards in this game.
I think if we had Saquon, we would have probably had 1 to 2 more wins. Having said that, it doesn't sound like a lot.
Right.
But considering the position, or if a running back can get you 2 wins, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That puts you in the playoffs. That puts us at 8-8.
Which is still redonk.
I know.
But,
I'm pulling at straws, but.
Now, Eric, we also need a second cornerback. And then here's what I have to say about that. People say we need a number 2 corner. True. But we need a number 1 wide receiver. Mm-hmm. We need a number 1 tight end. We need a number 1 left tackle. We need a number 1 left guard. We need a number 1 center. We need a number 1 right tackle. Like, our entire offense is, we don't even know if they're number 1s yet. So
I think we might need a number 2 wide receiver too.
So I don't think I can't sit here and say we need about anything on the defense when we were the 9th ranked defense. We would like, or this would improve the defense. I can use these phrases. Reply to me, hey bro, okay, fan. So yeah, I think here's how I say it. An edge defender and a second corner would exponentially help the Giants defense. But you have to ask yourself, how many more wins would it really bring? Are we really going to be winning games 13-10? Like, we're not going to do anything with this offense. So to me, the offseason's got to be, I'd love to bring in 1 key piece. If you could bring in 1 real solid edge defender, right? Let's say with this draft the way it is, if the Giants bring in an edge in free agency or the first 3 rounds, one of the first 3 rounds, I'll consider that. I'll be happy with that. With a corner, either free agency or one of the first 2 rounds, maybe 3 could be good also. But I really think 2 of the 3, in my opinion, the biggest impact players you're going to grab on the offseason is if you get 1 big free agent and your first 2 draft picks. In my opinion, 2 of those should be offensive line and receiver, whatever it is. Whether your free agent is an O-lineman and your number 2 pick is a wide receiver, whether your first, your free agent is an edge, fine, and then your first round pick is a receiver, your second round pick is a lineman. I think 2 of their 3 big acquisitions this offseason should be lineman and receiver. And Mark, I've told you this before, I'm not confident they're going to bring in a lineman. They'll definitely bring in a receiver. In their big 3 that I kind of call them your first 2 picks and your free agent. Some teams could bring in more than 1 free agent, but the Giants, I don't know what their money's going to be like. But I think they'll probably bring in a corner or whatever Graham asks for. I mean, he was able to manufacture a rush. The Giants were in the top half of the league in sacks, but it didn't come from their edge defenders. But again, you're getting back Zimenez and Carter, so it should improve at least.
All right, here's something interesting.
Yeah, what do you got?
From Maddie Langley. Ready? I've heard a few MIG coaches talking Saquon must change his running style to 1 cut rather than dancing. Yeah, I think I've seen him a few times back there dancing before he actually hits the hole. And the knock on him was that he wasn't, prior to the draft, that his strength wasn't, between the tackles. He was more of a bounce out guy.
Right. Yeah, I've contradicted myself with this one, and I'm going to be honest with you that I have, where Shermer was the guy who said that he wants – remember, he was like halfway through Saquon's rookie year, he was like, I wanted to get those tough yards between the tackles. And I felt just watching that it was inhibiting Saquon. And I'm like, the guy's a freak. The guy's a talent. Just let him bounce. Let him take a couple losses and then just do the 80-yard run around the edge or whatever it's going to be. And I was making that point over and over again in Saquon's rookie year, like stop inhibiting him. Just let him run. Just let him use his natural ability, whatever it is. But then I think I remember seeing that he actually averaged more yards per carry after the Shermer mandate, as I called it, to stay between the tackles than he did without it. I don't know. I think I don't know with him. You know what? Honestly, Marco, I can't even remember what it's like to watch that guy. because he's been out for the last 2 years, basically, So it's tough. And how's he going to come back off of the second straight season-ending leg injury? Well, what did he do? Hold up. What was his injury last year? Like this past year, I know it was was it an ankle and a knee?
High ankle sprain.
Right. So it's tough. It's tough. Jones needs help. I agree. If you had a choice between Smith and Waddle, I'm back and forth with this every day.
Because
I think
in your
Smith,
head, you think that's where it's going to be.
No, I think I'd go Smith.
Just because of the size?
Yeah, I don't know. His route running, his height, his size, but his size scares me with the width. With his, he didn't do it at the Senior Bowl this year. Did you know? I think he was the only one who didn't weigh in.
No, I didn't know that.
And people were wondering, I'm like, dude, when you're expected to be 175 pounds and you don't weigh in because you're even lighter than you're expected, I'm like, maybe the dude did weigh in and it just didn't register on the scale. So it's so tough. That's why. What's up?
Have his other friends step behind him on
step on the thing. Yeah, they have to weight his shoes. It's tough. I don't want to have to make that choice. That's why I want Jamar Chase. And I really don't know. I go back and forth. Most pro scouts say Waddle is the way to go, and these guys spend more time with it than I do. I spend more time than a typical fan, but I'm not exactly sitting there watching, every single piece of film. So
I don't know. When we drafted Odell, I was like, I wanted Mike Evans that year. That's where I was going for. And it wasn't even on my radar for wide receivers. I thought he was a good and kick and punt returns. He was exciting, but I didn't think the Giants were, I didn't, for some reason, he didn't pop for me for the Giants.
Yeah.
And they drafted him. I was like, now we got a guy, a smaller wide receiver, not what I was looking for, but proved me wrong. It actually proved me wrong that, that type of receiver, that body frame could be a number one target and really destroy people going over the top.
What are you trying to say? That you still don't think it's possible?
I've changed my mind. I think you can find,
Well, Antonio Brown and Odell and Tyreek Hill and
they're definitely guys.
I guess I would take Smith, but he's just so damn skinny. I feel like he's gonna break every time I watch him play. Man, it's like watching Manute Bol run up and down the court. For anybody who's old enough to know who the hell that is, he was even before my time. But
his son's playing Bol.
That's correct.
He looks exactly like him.
So what's up, Jesse? How are you? The defensive success comes from that constant rotation of players that Graham used. This, and that. JPB and OV look pretty good right now. So we do need a solid DN. Right. A defense, correct. But we have Graham still. So the confusion factor should still be there. It's not like we shot that and it's gone now. We still have him. But yes, I said
create different confusion factors.
Right. And I believe it would make his, again, an edge rusher would make his job a lot easier. And Zimenez and Carter will bring more heat than whoever the hell we had as edge rushers this year. But yes, I would love. What's up?
If they could stay healthy.
If they could stay healthy. But no, I would take an edge in the first, for me, receiver, receiver, offensive line, corner, and edge. And between free agency and 3 draft picks, you can get a good guy at all those positions. Am I right, Marco? Right?
I
Those are okay, so let's say for instance, we get
I think they have to
Galladay, Slater, second round we get Asante Samuel, and in the third round we bring in, Rashad Weaver. Okay, that's 4+ players right there that we just brought in, at key positions. And then I'm happy.
I want to circle back to Jay Sportscar's original comment between.
What do you got?
Where to go? Between Devontae Smith or Waddle.
Yes.
If you look at the Patriots system when they were running multiple smaller wide receivers, minus Randy Moss, do you think that Judge has that in mind, possibly going with a smaller lineup altogether?
No, I think the overriding, if you look at the top receivers in the NFL right now, they all are over 6'1", right?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much. I think that's just the thing. I think that's just the trend. And because the Giants right now are pretty short in the wide receiver game and they haven't had a good wide receiver game, I think they're looking for a taller guy. They do. All who does is hold. Fleming.
Solder, I think he's talking about.
And Fleming is mediocre. By the way, I was watching, dude, then grab A-Rob, Scherf, and draft. Oh, no. A-Rob and a wide receiver one. No, Scherf I would love. I don't think that. My dream offseason, my perfect dream offseason.
I'll get to Connor's comment in a minute. Go ahead.
What's
the dream? What's the dream?
No, that's Connor's comment. He's talking about Sheriff. My dream offseason probably, I think,
would include Sheriff.
Would be bringing in Sheriff or Tooney or Lindsley, one of those three interior offensive linemen that are really good, but Sheriff's the best one if they had the money. Bring in Sheriff, draft a wide receiver at 11. Hopefully it would be Chase, but I'm not sure if that's possible, but we're talking about a dream scenario. And then grab an edge, have a really good edge drop to you in the second, and then grab a DB in the third. I mean, that to me, you'd be increasing your your offensive production, your defensive production. So,
all right. So, yes, I'm doing the dishes. All right. So,
hey, excuse me. People are asking who's doing the dishes in the background. My mom just texted me. I guess she's watching, and then literally Mike A just said, "Are you doing dishes?" So, sorry, that's my maid.
Man, she works late.
Yeah, she's here when the wife's not here. She's wearing a little French maid outfit too. She does a terrible job with the dishes,
but excellent job with the French maid outfit.
Hey, can you turn on the wall and just point who the player is? Looks like we have the same dream off season, Will. Mike A, haha. Thanks.
So going back to that Connor.
What do you got?
I don't think you could get all those people.
Who? All what people?
He was talking about.
No, you can't bring in Robinson.
Sheriff.
No. You can. No, you'll have. If the Giants are lucky, they'll be able to bring in one marquee player. And sorry, this is now my. I have my contractor here. Mom, I'm trying to do a podcast. I did my homework. I didn't do my homework.
Yeah, you got the maid, got the contractor. What else?
It's like the Village People. It's like a game of Clue. We're all gonna try to kill each other. Bayman can slip. Dude, look at you. That's like one of my favorite movies ever. I love that
movie.
So okay, no, the Giants will have a chance to make one big splash in the offseason, probably. And the scary part is they need a wide receiver so badly that if they do not take care of it in free agency, you are just praying that one of the big three falls to you at 11. And then if you don't take it in free agency and you don't get it at number 11, then your big wide receiver acquisition over the offseason, the big thing that's going to save Jones, is going to be a second-round wide receiver, the 6th or 7th wide receiver. Wow, the meatloaf! F. We can get A-Rob and Scherf with that. With what?
He's saying Solder cut, Zeitler cut.
Oh.
Ingram frees up some. We need a lot of movement, my friend. I love.
Yeah, but Robinson's going to be 19 to 20. Scherf's going to be 15. So we need to at least be the 18th or 19th ranked offense and top 10 defense to win between 9 and 11. Yeah, I agree. Dude, I would love Ingram out of here. You know what I would trade Ingram for, actually? Like those really cool hats that the players wear. I'd trade him for a hat. I would pay another team to take Evan Ingram. No, but so yeah, I think we're looking at wide receivers, and we need a wide receiver, and you don't want to go. You're not going to want to not get your receiver taken care of until the second round. I don't think you're going to do that.
Oh my God!
What's up? Are you getting comments or breaking news?
No. Do you know all about the Dogecoin and all the financial shit that's going on?
Yeah.
Dogecoin is up to 8 cents now.
I don't know enough about it to have relevance there.
An update.
I mean, if the Giants cut, I hope you made a lot of money, Marco. If the Giants cut Ingram, they probably are looking at 14 wins next year.
Mm-hmm.
You agree?
Ingram, they're looking at 14 wins.
Yes.
That third round pick is really going to play off, and
no, even if they just leave him, if they just don't, they just get rid of him.
That third round pick will add 1 win, so we're up to 6. We're up to 7, and him leaving gives us 3.
Get him and take interior D over Jamar Chase. Very funny. So okay, yeah, I think Chase.
Oh my
I
God.
think there's about a 20% chance. What's up?
Dogecoin is up. You gotta look at this. I will send it to you.
Okay, I appreciate it, but this isn't the NASDAQ podcast. This is the New York Giants
here, hold on.
podcast. All right, guys, Marco's going to go make some money. I'm actually going to be here, the voice of the fan. I'm actually blue collar. I'm blue collar. All right, literally. Don't let his
sending
blue collar,
order. Sending order. Where
don't let his blue collar fool you. He's all about the stock market. This guy doesn't care about the Giants.
Sending order.
You're hanging out with Mara. You're hanging out with Tish.
Get me my crypto.
Yeah.
Pending. Why is the order pending? Damn you, Robin Hood.
Yeah, I agree. The Giants are not going to bring in a receiver in the first 2. It is possible that they would bring in Pitts if they brought in a wide receiver, but the crappy thing about the offensive line situation, Marco, is that the Giants are not bringing in a lineman in like the second or third round is not going to help you year one. It's not going to help Jones and the offense in year one. The best you could hope for in a second or third round offensive lineman is that they kind of just maintain and then that they're okay. So the only way they're really going to get offensive line help is if they bring one in free agency or draft one in the first round. And I just don't see it happening.
We got another thoughts on Pitts at 11.
Yeah, every 10 minutes somebody joins and asks that. I think it could potentially make sense. I think he might be there. I think it would be worth the pick depending on where they decide to bring in a receiver. But I would not just have Pitts be the sole receiver that we brought in. I think we need an outside deep presence.
This is turning into a crypto challenge.
Yeah, because you're making it that, all right?
I bought it at 2 cents. It's at 8.
So how much money did you just make? I can send over my French maid if you want. You can afford it now, Marco. You can afford 10 and my contractor too.
Send her on over.
Yeah, we'll do.
Marco, can you name some of your cards on the wall? Honestly, I have countless. Landon Collins. Oh, hold on. Mark Bavaro. That's your favorite.
Bavo. My boy.
One of my favorites, Victor Cruz. Pepper Johnson. He's been on the show. Who else?
Oh, that was fun. He's been on the show. I was hosting that show with you.
Myron Guyton, been on the show. Otis Anderson, he's been on the show.
All right, Marco, let's give the fans what they really want. Marilyn Monroe, she's been on the show. Marlene Dietrich. We got Hitchcock over there. He doesn't watch. I said I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. It's kind of like a Hitchcock hour type thing.
There we go.
We got Dorothy Gale and James Dean and some other ones.
Go further up.
It's Hollywood Drive-In. You want me to? Well, this is Clark Gable and Vivian Lee from Gone with the Wind.
Mm-hmm.
These are the Marx brothers right here. Groucho, John Wayne, Frankenstein, Lucy. This is Marlon
Lucy from
Brando. Lucy. No, Lucy from the corner store. I love Lucy.
I
Lucy
can't see it. I can't see
Well,
it.
you told me to go further up. Chaplin and Laurel and Hardy. I think that's about it.
Now we got
Clark Gable. I said. What, did I not say Clark Gable? Yeah, I said Vivian Lee and Clark Gable, didn't I? Anyway,
Has
okay.
Pepper and Otis actually been on the show? Yes, they've actually been on the show at the
We
same
had a reunion. We had a reunion show.
Pepper's been on multiple times. I could text him right now.
We believe you.
I'll text him about Dogecoin. He'd like that.
Text him and ask him his favorite Clark Gable movie.
Do you want me to?
No. So, what was I going to say? Who we rooting for in the Super Bowl? Chiefs. Brady, get out of here. Come on. You know who we're. I'm voting for Hanson. Boom. Yo, the maid can throw. The maid can throw. This is the official football that Evan Engram should have to play with for the rest of his career. He's no longer allowed to be near an actual pigskin football. This is Smurf skin.
that
was morbid.
If you dropped that.
All right, listen. What'd you say? That would be embarrassing. What?
That would have been embarrassing if you dropped that one.
Dude. I was an all-state tight end back in the day, all right? So let's just, And if I would have dropped it, I would have just pretended I was doing an Evan Engram joke.
Oh, an Engram.
Yeah.
Vetcoin, Marco. Vetcoin. Mike, I'm going to look into that as soon as I get out of here.
All right, so listen, let's get real here. We got for everyone out there, all right, we got the Senior Bowl coming up. And a lot of players, I was happy. It's going to be on ESPN. And a lot of the players that are playing in it are guys that I had in my top 100, and a lot of them in my top 50. And I'm actually going to tell you who to watch, who you should check out. It's on Saturday at like 2 or something like that. And there's a lot of legitimate I'm going to retweet you real quick. A lot of legitimate people are playing.
Wait, the list that you put out?
No. I just retweeted a live thing here. But okay, where are my things? So wide receiver wise, there's three big names.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Devontae Smith, who obviously we could potentially grab at 11. And Marco, if I see one more person freak out, every time the person says the Giants might get Smith at 11, everyone's like, yeah, Smith's never going to make it outside the top 10. I've been over this a million times. More than half of the Heisman Trophy winners over the past 28 years have dropped outside of the top 10. The average wide receiver position to be taken, the first wide receiver in the drafts over the last 5 years, has been number 16. I know he's very, very accomplished, but there's a 50-50 chance that he or probably a lot of teams need receivers, but they could handle it in free agency. There's probably a 40% chance Devontae Smith drops to the Giants at 11. And everyone thinks it's impossible, but it's not.
Happened in my mock.
With Smith or Waddle?
Waddle.
Yeah. What's happening here? Okay, here it is. All right, these are the players that I think people should watch out for. Wide receiver, you've got Nico Collins.
Mm-hmm.
Giants, I would love if they picked him up in the third. I might even be happy if they picked him up in the second. 6'4", good speed. I've talked about it before here. Big target. Goes up for the passes. Goes up for the contested situation balls. Red zone. I'm not going to do a full biography on all these guys. The big three wide receivers playing this weekend are Kadarius Toney, ridiculously quick from Florida, Devontae Smith, and you've got Collins. Edge rushers, Basham, Jones, Rashed, Roche, Shaka Toney, and Weaver. Of those guys, Roche I have at like 6. He's the highest rated of all the guys that are playing on my list. Followed by like Weaver, Basham, Jones, but those are all potential guys the Giants could grab in the first 3 or 4 rounds. Offensive line, Brown, Cleveland, Dickerson, Eichenberg, Humphrey, Leatherwood, Raduns, and Smith. Some of those are tackles. Giants probably wouldn't take a tackle, but keep an eye out. Cornerbacks, Melifonwu, rising up boards big time from Syracuse. Very long arms. People like this guy. Molden, Robinson, Thomas, and Williams. There's a guy, Ambry Thomas. People are very high on him. And linebackers, Browning, Cox, Rice, Snowden, and Surratt. Really the first three guys, I would say. So those are all guys that I think you should check out this weekend. Why is Baker Mayfield trending?
Baker Mayfield on Twitter?
Oh, no, it's not. It's just the word Baker. Oh, Baker Mayfield. What did he say?
Hold on.
Baker is. The word Baker is. Baker's going to
bake. I got Cicely Tyson, rest in peace. I have Dogecoin. Bye now.
No, talking about Blake Baker, maybe.
Don't take advice from a YouTuber. Bye now. Let's see. Jewish Space Laser. I don't know what that is.
Jewish Space Laser?
Yes, that's number 3 on politics. Let's see. Let me click into it. I don't know.
What
this is about.
I don't know. Whatever it is.
Get back to
this is boring. This is boring now. Okay.
The Pistons.
Let's see what we got here. Who are your favorite non-Giant defensive players of all time, or
non-Giant favorite defensive player of all time is Deion Sanders.
Yeah. I'm not into all that crap.
I only know.
I think J.J. Watt is just a really unbelievable player. His numbers are just crazy. I know he's had a lot of injuries, but defensive player of the year a bunch of times, and just big guy, freak. You know who I always just thought was awesome, even though I was always jealous he wasn't on my team. And I'm not the kind of guy who can like other teams' guys. I hate everybody. I hate everybody but the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
But Troy Polamalu was just so damn disruptive. I used to look at that guy and just be like, could you imagine having this guy on your team? He would just dive everywhere. He would just make stuff happen.
Jumping over the line, yeah. Super Bowl Senior Bowl MVPs, 2016, Dak Prescott.
Loletta, Jones, Herbert.
2017, Davis Webb, New York Giant great. 2018, Kyle Loletta, New York Giant great. I don't even know 2019.
Richmond Dagger?
No, don't know.
Henry Rowan Gardner? Gardenhauser?
2000.
So,
Daniel Jones. Of those 5 QBs, the Giants drafted Webb. Could have been worse. They could have got Richmond Dagger. Is that
Richmond Dagger? Yeah, he was really good.
Where did he play?
He was from Virginia. They used to call him the Richmond Dagger. That was his nickname. So listen, Marco, let's get back to it here. How high? What are you? How high are you? No, how high would you want the Giants to
Pretty
go
high.
To go defense? I mean, you'd be fine with the Giants going defense. You'd be fine with the Giants going in corner in the first, right? You told me this.
Yeah. But you yelled at me when I told you that because you said you don't need a number 2 quarterback, a number 2 corner.
Richmond.
Richmond, QB from Richmond and Duke Jones, I think what it was.
Duke Jones? No. What?
From Richmond.
What's Dagger?
I don't know what the Dagger
was. This really his nickname? I was kidding.
No, Kyle Loletta played for. No, wait. Kyle Loletta played for.
Right. Prescott, Mississippi. Webb, California. Loletta, Richmond Dagger. Jones, Duke. Dude, we're like idiots right now. I don't know what Dagger is.
I've been doing. I think we've been.
I think I just made up an awesome nickname for Kyle Loletta, the Richmond Dagger.
Where is
the
he?
Yankee Clipper? I don't know, dude. Marco, let's get back to talking some real-ish right now, okay? What is happening right now? What is your dream off season right now?
My dream off season is re-sign Leonard Williams, keep Davlin Tomlinson, add Allen Robinson, then you're open to draft. Basically, I'd be cool with a whole bunch of positions if those three can happen.
Would you be good in that scenario then, leaving the offensive line until the second or third round of the draft, and
Second
just
round?
basically go? So then you'd basically be going into next season with the same offensive line that we had this year.
Well, if you could get someone in the second round, hopefully.
And like who? Or like what position, let's say?
I haven't. What specific offensive lineman position?
Yeah.
Well, given that I probably think that Matt Peart is going to be starting at right, do you address guard? Do you address center? I don't know. I think they showed promise, but there's no depth there.
I'm just saying any lineman you bring in like the second round isn't going to be much better in their first year, most likely, than what we have. So I think if you're looking to improve the offensive line, it has to happen in free agency or the first round. I mean, look, I think a second rounder could do better immediately than Shane Lemieux. I guess I would say that. I guess there's guys that could drop to the second round at guard that could fill in and be better than one of our IOLs right now. But anyway. So I'm going to watch the Senior Bowl. And people that think the Senior Bowl and stuff doesn't matter, it's not just the game, and it's not just the typical All-Star game. It's a week-long tryout. Have you been watching all the coverage and stuff? Like, these guys are doing drills. These guys are going wide receiver versus corner. And everyone's there. They're scouts, and they're watching these guys. And it's two guys that are going to be big time in the draft. And they'll run routes against each other. And who breaks whose ankles, who picks off what quarterback. And then they do scrimmages, and they do mesh drills where it's one team's offense versus another team's defense. And you see how these guys match up against the best of the best. And so there are guys out there who are projected third-round wide receivers, and they get in a drill against a first-round corner. And if he breaks his ankles and catches a touchdown deep, all of a sudden it's like, oh, now that we're seeing them against each other, maybe this third-round receiver is capable of doing second-round things. Or maybe this first-round corner isn't as great as we thought he was going to be. So these guys are doing drills, dude. Like, they're one-on-ones, offensive lineman, offensive tackle versus edge, and like someone pancakes somebody or someone gets around someone. I think it's really, really cool to watch this stuff. It's just like a week-long all-star studded tryout, and it's pretty cool. The game itself isn't even necessarily as important as all.
So you're telling me I should get into it?
Well, it's a little late now, but what I'm telling you to do is look up the Senior Bowl and just look at some of the footage of these guys. I mean, these guys are playing for their lives, and they're, doing Oklahoma drills and going up one-on-one against each other. It's interesting to see, and you go, holy crap, this Division III offensive guard that we don't know if he could hang or not, he just put this Division I D tackle on his ass. Like, oh, I guess he does belong. You know what I mean? Things like that. So, let's see. I'm confused. Did anything happen to Hernandez, or was he just bad? It's very interesting. I loved the pick a couple of years ago. He had a very promising rookie season.
Wait, this was his second year or third year?
Third. His second year, he took a little bit of a downturn. And then this year,
took a bigger down.
They brought in Lemieux and liked him better. But I still think Hernandez overall might be better than Lemieux. But Smith is 100 pounds soaking wet. Yeah, he's very, very thin. Chase Waddle or Pitts. Is that a question, or I see a period? So maybe you're saying that's who you want at 11. I'd ultimately oh yeah, Chase, absolutely. I would prefer Chase. I don't care about the return game, Marco. I mean, I care, but it so rarely happens that a return guy / receiver works out in both areas and can actually do both very effectively. I don't know. I guess the Tariq Hills, but I'm afraid of injury and these guys getting tired and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, the Seahorn saga has plenty of Giants fans.
Yes, of course.
All right, well.
All right, buddy.
I think we're going to call it today.
We'll call it, and that's it. I would tell Giants fans, check that out. Guys that I really like, Senior Bowl wise. other than like the main first round guys, like the Devontae Smith's going to be there. Tony and Collins, very intriguing receivers. Tony, super, super quick.
Mm-hmm.
There's a video of him, Marco. I'll text it to you. He shook some dude out of his cleats at practice today, beat him so bad, and then he dropped the pass. So,
I saw that.
so you did watch a little bit of the Senior Bowl coverage. Your day's getting more interesting already. And Nico Collins, thanks, Mr. The Hard Way. Nico Collins, check out that he's a big body receiver. I like him from Michigan. And defensive ends or edge guys, Weaver and Roche are probably my two favorite of the crew that's going to be out there. Yeah, I would say to check out those guys. Maybe Ambry Thomas too, but that's that. And then we'll talk next week.
Alrighty. Well,
I got to stretch. I'm playing in the Senior Bowl. I'm playing in the Senior Bowl this year.
Go have fun.
It's the Senior Citizen Bowl.
Go have fun with the maid. Make sure everything is okay.
Oh, I'm just kidding. She's all right. She's no maid. All right. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Appreciate it. Hit us with your questions, and we'll try to get to them each week. And Marco, you continue to be the man. Okay.
All right. Talk to you later.
Later, buddy.
All right, everyone. That's it. I'm going to see what's going on, and I am pretty much falling asleep. Thanks, everyone, for joining in. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I will talk to you all later on. Peace out. I'm going to leave 2 videos up later on, okay? Click those.